Okay, good morning, student. We will start for our class in the second day.
Good morning, sir.
Do you hear my voice? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Morning. Okay. Okay. In this second day, we will talking about IoT architecture and IoT use case. But for today, I apologize. Maybe sorry, because maybe I just have time for 1 hour because I have another agenda for today. Okay. Directly we will start for the material today is about IoT architecture and IoT use case. Oh, sorry. I make a mistake. Oh, sorry. Okay. The outline of this material, we will talking about IoT architecture. There is some architecture that we can use for develop the IoT device, IoT system. The one is three-layer architecture, and the another is four-layer architecture, five-layer, seven-layer, and we will talking also about use case of IoT system in any case of our uh, living, I think. So IoT architecture means in the context of IoT, this architecture is explained about the worksheet of component related. Uh, it explained about the function and the and arrangement as well as procedure operational data use. So in the simple thing is we will learning about how to create a system and how to connect a device and everything in our system to connect between device so we can make IoT system. Architecture means we will see that every component in IoT it connecting one by one from the basic layer, from the elementary layer. This is the basic layer, and they connecting to the middle layer and the high layer. IoT architecture, there are many options about the Internet of Things architecture. There are some argument, some idea for IoT architecture. There are some people, researcher or developer system, they make some theory and some concept about 3 layers architecture, or 4 layer, or 5 layer, and 7 layer. But generally they have a similarity. They have similarity for every component that in this architecture. For the first is 3-layer architecture. It means there is a 3 layer in our system. Consists of the basic layer is we call it perception layer. In this layer, we will find the sensor, actuator, and controller. It is the things layer. So everything that we will control and monitor will be here. And for example, we have a robot, mobile robot, or drone robot, or the arm robot, or another type of robot. So we can put this device on the basic layer. So we call it perception layer. And the second layer, the middle of the layer, we call it network layer. This is a very vital or very important things in IoT, because our device must be connected to internet. So we need to choose. We need to choose, and we need to find the suitable communication for our system. There are many technology that we can choose in the communication layer. We will talking about the communication protocol, like HTTP, like MQTT, and another type of the protocol like TCP or UDP protocol. And the highest layer, we call it application layer. Application layer is means that it is a server or cloud system. So it is the place that we will put our application, including database for saving data from the IoT device, and also some application for visualization and data analytics, or big data analytics, and human interface, or web interface, or any application that we will use for controlling and monitoring our device. So in this concept, 3-layer, we just have a perception layer for device, and network layer for communication, and application layer for cloud system. Okay, this explanation about every layer that we will talking about. The first one is the layer IoT perception layer. Perception layer is the basic layer in IoT. So in this perception layer, this is the lowest part of the IoT architecture, which is responsible for collecting various types of information or data through physical sensor or smart thing component. So we need to learn about electronic, about embedded system like IC. Yeah, we need to we must connecting the sensor to controller, and also controller to actuator. In this architecture layer, we will find something like robot arm sensors, this sensor, distance sensor. We call it ultrasonic sensors, RFID, and also camera. Camera also, it is a type of the sensor, because we sensing image and process to our server. And in the perception layer, it will be connecting to the middle layer communication using some type of the communication technology. We will talking about this in the next slide. Okay, in the network layer, It is a very important layer in our system. We will find some type of the technology like Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi means wireless fidelity. We use this we use this communication often. We use often in our living, because Wi-Fi is very important, because many type of device in and today like smartphone, laptop, and another type of device, they use a Wi-Fi. So and the another type of the communication, we will use also Bluetooth and 4G communication and LoRa. So do you know LoRa? LoRa is a low radio, low power radio, and low ring radio. So in the network layer, also known a transmission layer, this receive information from the perception layer, from the device, and forward the received data to a remote application interface. It means cloud server using the internet or the other communication technology. For example, WLAN, wireless local area network, or Wi-Fi. LTA, refers to 4G, Bluetooth low energy, BLE, for 3G, 4G, 5G, and LoRa. And this network layer is usually integrated with an IoT gateway. IoT gateway, we will talking in the next slide. It is a 4-layer architecture. And the highest layer on this concept, we call it application layer. It's the it is the top of the IoT architecture. This layer is responsible for providing service request by user. So the final element on the IoT is application layer. So from the device, they sending the data using the communication technology and transfer to our cloud. In the cloud, we will manage the data. We can save to the database, or we can also directly to display in our application. And the next is 4-layer IoT architecture. There is a little different, but between 3-layer and 4-layer. We added a middleware here and gateway. So from the it is the basic layer. This is the lowest layer. We call it smart things. In previous layer, we call it perception layer, but in this concept, we call it smart things layer. And the next layer is the gateway layer, and then also middleware layer and application layer. Smart things layer, it's same with a physical layer. It's same with a perception layer. So we will find the type of the things like sensors, controller, and actuator. So in this layer, we need to learn about the basic electronic and basic about how to program embedded system like microcontroller. And the gateway layer, it is many people interest about this layer. So in the gateway layer, we can put one device to collect data from the device. I will show you the case of IoT. Okay, sorry. Okay, I find it. Okay, for example, for use case or for the four layer, we can use four layer for this case. You know, this is the volcano. Volcano means the mountain. Uh, it's an active mountain. So the case is we want to monitor every condition. We will monitor the condition of the crater in the volcano. Crater means this. In this position, we call it crater. We want to monitor every parameter in mountain, in volcano, like the humidity, like temperature, like vibration or magnitude, earth magnitude, and another type of parameter that we need to monitor in volcano. And we want to make an IoT system, so we can monitor this mountain in the central control monitor in the central room. For example, in our department, in our country, we have a ministry, we have department that focus on disaster management, and located in the central of our country, the capital of our country. They want to monitor all mountain in our country. How we can solve this problem? We can solve this problem, and we can propose the IoT system for monitor the all mountain and all volcano in our country, because in Indonesia we have many volcanoes. So we need a system that we can monitor everything about the condition in real time condition in every volcano. So we propose this system, IoT system, but we have the problem. What's the problem? It is the rural area, rural area. There is no communication. There is no signal communication here because it's far from the antenna or BTS, and it is very far from the village. Okay, so we call it a rural area. So this is the one constraint, and the other constraint is because in the rural area, so we cannot supply the energy for our device. There is no electricity here. So how we can develop system for monitoring system here? There is no electricity and there is no communication signal. Now, the solution is we must make one device that it can a standalone device. So this device it must be energized thing in here, maybe using battery or maybe using solar cell technology, using solar cell and charging a battery. It is possible. It is possible using battery, but we have issue if we use a battery. So we need the device that consume minimum energy. So don't use a device that consume high energy. We need to make it is low energy, and we can running this device without electricity. So we need to choose the component that consume low voltage energy. And also, how about the constraint about communication? Because there is no communication here. There is no 4G signal here. There is no 5G, 3G. There is no signal here. So we need to choose the another type of communication technology like LoRa. LoRa means power radio. So we can transfer the data from one side to another side using radio wave, electromagnetic wave. So we need to choose the LoRa technology or radio technology for implementation in the volcano situation. How about how this data can transfer to another city? We will combine this. So from the mountain, we will transfer the data to gateway. From gateway and repeater, from gateway and mountain, we use radio communication technology. And from the gateway to the data center in capital of our country, it is a very long distance. We use the internet. So we must ensure and we must make sure that in the last location, in the gateway, there is internet connection to connect to a data analysis center in our central control room in our country. So this is a 4-layer. So from the volcano to gateway, we will make a local connection using radio, and from the gateway, we will use internet to sending data to data center. This is the concept for 4-layer IoT architecture. There is many option that we can use for communicate between volcano and the gateway. It is a radio communication. We can choose Bluetooth, low energy, maybe, but it is impossible. All the possible things is LoRa and ZigBee. What the difference about LoRa and ZigBee? We will talking special about this, about ZigBee and LoRa. In the simple concept, LoRa is radio communication. It is a low range, so in theoretical, LoRa can transmit a data with the distance is up to 15 kilometers from one side to another side. 15 kilometers is very interesting about this. We can implement this technology in the mountain, the volcano there for that case. For ZigBee, this also radio communication, but the distance, the maximum distance that we can transfer from one side to another side, just maximum is 1 kilometer or maybe 2 kilometers. And the Bluetooth low energy, it is also a radio communication, but it can transfer just for 300 meters and 500 meters. So it depends on the case. If we want to, in the extreme case like volcano, we can consider using a LoRa technology. How about ZigBee and PLE? ZigBee and PLE, we can use this technology on the case in smart farming. Smart farming. Okay, sorry. I will see you about our rice field. I don't know how to call it in your country. It's a rice field or sawah in Indonesia. The sawah. Find it. This is our rice field, like seem like that. So imagine we want to monitor this rice field every rice field here, every position here. We want to monitor what type of the data monitor that we can use here. We can monitor about soil monitoring, soil humidity of the soil, or we can also monitor about the maximum soil humidity we can monitor, and also maybe about the position, or another type of smart farming application. The problem is, if we look this area, there is one constraint or one obstacle if we want to implement IoT here. The important things that we will get the problem is there is no communication. There is no electricity here. Okay, because there is no wire, there is no electricity circuit, there is no any electricity cable here, and we cannot implement the electricity cable here, because it is very dangerous for our farmland, for our farmer. So we need to put the portable IoT device. Same like in the volcano, we need to make some IoT device that can energize its system using a battery or maybe using the solar cell. It's more safety than we use a cable using device in battery and solar cell. I think it is not big a problem, because many land farm, many rice field, it's covered by signal communication in our country. So it is not the high problem for this case, but the high problem is electricity. So it is impossible for we implement the cable, electricity cable, high voltage electricity cable here, because very dangerous. For this case, we can use the communication technology like ZigBee or like PLA, Bluetooth Low Energy. Okay, why we choose ZigBee and PLA? Because we need low energy consumption for our IoT device, because it's energized by battery and solar cell, right? So we need the low energy communication. We cannot use 4G communication. 4G communication or GSM, it is high consume energy, and also Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi also, it's high consume energy. So we will eliminate this technology, and we can choose the radio technology like ZigBee or BLE. For ZigBee, normally the distance from here, from this the edge of this file until here, maybe just the distance just 100 meters or 200 meters. So it is very possible if we put ZigBee communication here. And for the distance that minimum and lower than 300 meters and 200 meters, we can use ZigBee. We can use PLE, Bluetooth Low Energy. So we need to make a planning about using communication technology. It is depend on our case. We choose, and we need to analyze which the communication technology that is the best choice. For the farm field case, maybe ZigBee or PLE, this is the best choice. But the monitor the parking area, to monitor traffic light in our city, is the good place, because there is electricity coverage and signal coverage also. We can use NB-IoT. NB-IoT is the type of the communication. It's like 4G. It's like 4G LTE, but low energy. It uses smart card. It uses smart. This is the GSM card to connect to a PTS. We call it PTS or antenna. But it has a low energy. In China and in another country, we can see the implementation of IoT for I have been live in China for 3 years. In 2017 until scan in our application, in Android application, we just scan the QR code and they will charge our deposit, our account, bank account, and we can use this the bike for traveling in our city. Okay, this is the big picture. So if you know here, there is a IoT device technology here. This is the lock, smart lock, smart lock, because we just to scan this barcode and connect to our account, a bank account, and it will be open. How to? Sorry. Okay. So in this type of this device, we call it smart lock system. So we just scan this barcode, and this lock, the smart lock will be connected to our account, and they will charge our deposit, our balance, and the lock will be open. So this is one of the implementation of NB-IoT technology, NB-IoT communication technology. If we look inside this device, there is one SIM card, SIM card. It's like our SIM card in our smartphone. This is the same. And they connect it to the provider using they connect to BTS and using a radio also. Yes, seem like our smartphone card, but for NB IoT, it's designed for low power energy. So we cannot discard for telephone, for calling, and we cannot use for internet. For SMS. It's just for internet with low bandwidth consumption. But the technology and the concept it's same with 4G LTE or GSM communication. This is suitable for the case in the smart city if we want to monitor like bike sharing application, or we want to monitor the rubbish or the recycle bin. This is a very the good implementation in the smart city. And another type of the application protocol, we will talking about HTTP, MQTT, DDS, MQP, SWAP, and another, and etc. This is the application layer. So after we can connect our device to our server, so after we connect our device to gateway using local communication, we will sending the data to cloud atau our server. We use some type of the protocol application protocol like HTTP, MQTT, TDS, IMQP, CHOAP, and another type of protocol. And in the middle layer means it is in server. The location of this middleware layer in server or in the cloud. It means the application that breaching our data in device to enter the database or server, our server. In this architecture, we will we will find about API, application programming interface. I think you know about this. We need API for bridging our data that collect from our device and transfer to our server. We need API server, API service or web service API. And the last layer is application layer. In this layer, this is the same with 3 layer before. So we will talking about database, web visualization, and technology. Okay. Okay. Any question? Five layer and 7 layer, we will talking in from absent list. I will send in the group. Okay, you can fill in this form, attendance for today. You make some screenshot for ours the form.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you. We
Thank you,
will
sir.
end up this class. See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Time nagabase sir, see you tomorrow. Thank you.